I sincerely regret this medium for this discussion, but my arms are still injured and I'm battling problems with my health as a result of a series of poison crimes by the madmen who inhabit our universities. But I'm going to talk about some things that would be easier to write about. But my arms are in splints, so I don't want to have to type all day. You know, from Pittsburgh experience with the police, I know that they say, oh, you can just tell. The body politic there likes to lie and say, I can just tell he's lying. And they get a group going on because you could just tell by looking at his eyes. They knew that they had implanted a neuroplasm in my facial nerve, and that eye aversion was partly a struggle with involuntary control mechanisms they had implanted. This is a notorious fact of this series of poison crimes by the madmen in our universities. And they have key elements of their faculty who are sophisticated at manipulating language to get things to sort of sound like they're right about what the person they're interrogating um, is like as a person. So you see, I mean, a good example is Andrew Cho. He represented this crowd who they claimed they were in tears in the movie. A policeman from Seattle had violated them as Asians when they tried to cross the street. I recognized the police. He said the same thing to me when I jaywalked. And I didn't know how to stand up to the appearance that Joe was telling the truth. But later, he told this story of a very good basketball player, and the song and dance he gave sounded sophisticated, like a girl was basically hired to put her hands down her pants to get some DNA. The kid looked very innocent, but he managed to get convicted, and the basketball team suffered. Chose a big basketball fan. And afterwards, he was laughing with the judge. He puts a picture of himself laughing with the judge. So there's a mask of indifference on all the ways that the judicial system exercises power by not giving somebody a fair shake. Judge Peckman, I wrote to right after the COVID bomb went off and said, reopen CO 2628, please. She wrote back that I had given her no reason to open it. I have to attribute it to arrogance because I don't think a federal judge is stupid. No reason to reopen it. I've been warning you these people were doing this. Okay, so my point is that there's a lot of sophisticated things going on that are going to be very draconian and cruel to me about because I'm talking about torture and a genocide program from UW Dialectical and Hollywood Manipulation, Access Hollywood. One of the most difficult things to understand is the blaring loudspeaker of black grievance is part of this program. People, no, 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 that's absolutely not true. To understand black grievance today, you have to picture a raid on a train station in occupied France, for example, during World War II, where the Germans are shipping off prisoners to concentration camps. And there's a lot of difficult, masquerade going on, difficult infiltration, hard, painful hiding, difficulty securing food, trying not to be caught as you engage in this attempt to sabotage an operation that deserves to be sabotaged. And on the last day of the operation, when things are just getting ready to go well, the black man in the group stands up and announces, I have caught the traitors to the Germans. And the Germans come and round up the Allied soldiers. And one by one, he slaps their faces, says, the Germans are honorary the black men. They respect us. They are true warriors. And the last Allied soldier, with tears in his eyes, looks at him and says, why did you do this? And the black man slaps him across his face and hisses, Denmark Vesey. I want to explain to you that American education has always tried. Some professors are better than others. Our level best, it cheapens them to make a tactic of disdain for German Axis privilege of our attempts to bring out a month of teaching. I realize that February is the shortest month, but it's also root in school during a cold year, when cold month when people were there and their attentions are at their highest. So Elijah Lovejoy was a white man who lost his life battling race as an abolitionist. James Garfield lost his life over the 14th Amendment. Uh, Viola Liuzzi, I believe was her name, was killed, a white woman, and her tomb gets desecrated, and black man doesn't pay any attention to it because she thought she was special because she was white. She was killed, for heaven's sakes, on a civil rights movement. Thurgood Marshall rose to be a magistrate on the Supreme Court. You know, that doesn't happen in a society that is foundationally racist, like Nazi Germany. Now, the genocide program is meant to be sold as inclusive. They're building an ark, but they're getting rid of the fat, the people who see, all of this goes down to the fact that the fossil fuel giants and the fossil fuel rock and rollers have been lying through the teeth for 40 years, refusing to stop the oil wars, which are massacres, refusing to teach in public education, refusing to address tragedies around the world, refusing to teach and preserve ecology, the legitimate ecology programs. They say, oh, everyone can see there's too many people. They obstructed any form of sexual education. And they say that they're the parochial truth, the injecting parochial values. Well, the thing is that when you look at great heroes like Dag Hammarskjöld, this wasn't lost on JFK or Lambrakis. JFK was, they make a lot of his assassination being related to Vietnam, but his last tour in September of 1963 and August of 1963 was the ecology of the United States. It was an interior tour, national parks, public preserves. It could just as easily have been that they wanted him out of the way because his ecological program led to such things as restrictions on the oil depletion alliance. People need to open their minds about the fact that people can be regulated too by appeal to their common sense and judgment in public education. And this wasn't done. And so now they're coming up with these final solutions. So when you look at films like Diva and my semiotic investigations, you find that there's a black woman and she's being courted by a white man, and the white man is being surrounded by skinheads. And the logic of what these people bring to the table, it was before AIDS happened, but they talk about the letters being in the kids' mailbag. And my birthday is on this sign. So I'm being targeted by this sophisticated group of riffraff from France. It's clear from the way the film unfolds. And you see in this that they're putting a black woman as a token of the new movement of genocidal crazies, and the white American gets knocked out. The way they knocked out JFK and then uploaded the Rolling Stones, knocked out Cersei Kennedy and uploaded Greta, who I adore. She's wonderful. I love Greta, but that's just what her puppet masters did. And where she stands, she's been a test tube baby as much as I am. I don't know where she stands on, me. I don't particularly care. I have to be me. She can't be me for me. I can't be her for her. There's no partnership going between us. She's in danger of being targeted by the freak show in Pittsburgh who murdered my father. He was senior faculty at the University of Pittsburgh. Despite this, Martin Orenberg and the administration of the University of Pittsburgh defeated his obituary with things about injecting parochial values. The German Green Party, the stamp, don't know who, and then one of their football players came and poisoned me. So, we're off to this media mecca puppet show of pseudo realities where Access Hollywood plays the pitch of blaring sonar about black grievance against the United States while building a foreign con job, a rainbow arc of Hitlerian genocidal warriors, who, of course, are selling the all poors. I'd love to see them help the all poors, but I don't think that they're going to. The way they came after me was to torture me for trying to create ecology. They castrated me for refusal to date rape a girl. They were jeering me and libeling me and playing all sorts of games with the tap prostitution. They wouldn't have put a 19-year-old girl virgin in my bed if they thought I was a subconscious rapist. That's immoral. I wouldn't have had a 19-year-old girl in my bed if I knew she was a virgin under the circumstances of the riffraff who were plying this stuff. But I still trusted, to my amazement, the rabbit King Crimson, and had put so much love and tenderness and belief and faith in them. I thought they would never hurt somebody like me. I was dead wrong. They are evil fascist horrors. But aside from the disappointments of Jimmy Carrey passed from the University of Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, we're dealing with an arrangement in our sophisticated society. Dan Rather does like this on November 25th, 1963, almost like the temple's symbol, and says, I could see his head go violently forward. He saw the Zapruder film, the head goes violently backwards. What's the matter with this man? It's because he's brainwashing, absolute brainwash. And another thing is that we know from the script and what happened to me that they actually have hologram thought now. They actually can broadcast voices as surely as they have a cloaking device, which they fondly admitted, as surely as they have teleportation, which they have fondly admitted. As surely as I am not starting rumors about John Schulman, he was arrested for $6 million museum heist. But he didn't get $6 million robbing the museum. He got it selling it through the network of evil idiots at the University of Pittsburgh like Martin Ordenberg. So you have this little cloister of truly insane madmen dominating our universities and then close them so they could pull off their COVID attack. And prancing and dancing amongst all of these abnormals is the coward Fripp. Dan Rather and Robert Fripp come from the same intelligentsia system. They don't care what's true. They will say the exact opposite of what's true. His head goes violently forwards. Flip did the same thing. He was saying virginity proves rape. He got my girlfriend raped. He got Circe murdered. He got me tortured. He got Shannon Harp's Ripper attacked. I mean, the black kids around here leave their calling card on my doorstep. They want to fight. What is there to fight about? You're the ones who are lying. Kennedy's head went violently backwards. He was the one who proposed the civil rights legislation. Denmark Vesey didn't go after JFK. You make it sound like Denmark Vesey shot JFK. You're stupid. What am I supposed to say? I'm not calling you stupid because you're black. You're stupid because you're falling for it.